George Bruno with the 21 Report. We're at the 21 convention, the final event of the decade. And I'm having a conversation with Goldmund, otherwise known as Goldmund Unleashed. Welcome.
Thanks, George.
Yeah. How'd it go?
Went well. Yeah, went well. Different venue, but same cool audience, and I felt comfortable on stage. Had to get the message out there.
Yeah. I notice you're sporting a new look now with the more full beard.
Yeah, well, it's fitting with my lifestyle right now. I'm kind of on the road exploring America, in nature a lot, and just out there as Goldmund the Explorer.
Yeah. Photography is part of it, of course.
Photography, drone video, drone photography, and I just got into underwater photography.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's fun. I'm up in the sky, I'm underwater, and I'm on the streets.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is the most mind-blowing photography you've done to date?
Oh, man. I would say last year when I spent the month in the Florida Everglades, I was out in the Everglades for sunrise every morning for a month. Mm-hmm. And I saw some very, very violent animals killing each other. Alligators eating boa constrictors. That was probably the most amazing experience. And I got perfect light where a giant 10-foot boa constrictor was getting eaten by a 10-foot alligator. In perfect light. Boom, got the photo. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Like a nature show on TV.
I was so happy with that one.
Wow,
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. What'd you speak on today?
I spoke about creativity. So how to access that creative part of you and what the benefits of being creative are. That was my topic of my speech. Yeah.
Does everybody have creativity in them?
I believe so. I mean, some people, of course, more than others. Some people are just born for it. They have the disposition. Some people are just very talented. But for the most, I mean, everybody's got some inkling, some spark of creativity. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to encourage guys, especially to dig deep and figure out what that spark was and just turn that spark into a fire because it can change your life. What
about the whole, I remember back in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot of left brain, right brain kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Does any of that study apply to what you do?
I mean, I don't think about it how they broke it down scientifically. I think creativity is accessing part of your soul. And if your soul is your right brain, so be it. But it's that.
Wow. All right. You just entered, just a whole new element just came in.
Yeah. The soul.
Wow. You really blew that left, right brain paradigm right out of the water. The soul.
Yeah.
The soul.
The soul. Cow. Yeah. And I've explored the soul through many different mediums before. And
tell us about the different mediums.
Well, plant medicine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Mostly ayahuasca. Yeah. Ayahuasca was something that legitimately changed my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those ayahuasca ceremonies and that soul navigating that it allowed me to do. It brought me to those places where I could do it.
Yeah.
And I'd never been before, never accessed that part of me before.
Yeah.
And it Goldmund Unleashed. There's a reason I use that word unleashed because that was unleashed. That Goldmund is what was really inside me.
Yeah.
And ayahuasca made him come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What are the effects, the long-term effects of, and I'm not talking physiological, but how does it affect the life of a person when they are unleashed?
Much more open. I'm going to speak from personal experience, and I'm trying, like other people I know, just the openness that you're able to project. Whereas before you feel like you were kind of living life very closed or boxed in. And when that happens, you want to express yourself more. Mm-hmm. You want to understand other people more. Mm-hmm. You just want to put yourself out there and you're not afraid. You're not afraid of yourself anymore. And that's what ayahuasca did. I confronted myself, my very, very dark parts of myself, confronted them, saw them for what they were, was terrified for a big portion of it, was very, very ill for a portion of it. But I know they're there and I know the strengths and weaknesses, which is that self-knowledge is just power. Yeah.
Wow. Self-knowledge. Let's go down that little rabbit hole a little bit. That's something that everyone could benefit from, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, self-knowledge. And that's a big part of my road trip now is I'm spending a lot of time in nature. And I think nature is the one place where you really, if you want to explore yourself, without, psychedelics or, crazy plant medicines. Nature is one place where you can really go and figure out, set your mind free, observe nature, see what she's telling you. But that's the one place, if you're really interested in self-knowledge, every time I go, I learn something new there. Yeah. It's amazing.
Years ago, I heard about a lady that was counseling another lady after she lost her husband. And she said, one woman asked, how do I deal with this grief? And she says, go out and lay down on the ground and let the earth minister to you. And I was like blown away by that. And she did it, and she felt like the ground actually helped her in her grief. Mm-hmm. She was literally in touch with energy in the earth or something to that effect.
She was grounded.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard that people who are grieving need to go and literally lay down on the ground with naked if possible, so there's no interference. I knew a woman who would go to the beach without a beach towel. Everyone has beach towels and umbrellas. She would just go and lay down on the sand.
That's what I do.
And and she said she felt like that it was affecting her in a positive way.
Oh yeah, this is part of my trip. I'm always, going to bathing myself in mud, going to hot springs, cold springs. Oh, like burying myself in sand. But I can, now that you mentioned it as part of the grieving process, I can see how that really would help. Because I think we're all grieving in some way. Yeah. Like it's a spiritual grief. And this is what I've noticed in America. It's this sick spiritual war that's going on. Yeah. So we've got that hurt inside, and getting grounded and back to nature, not to sound too hippy dippy-ish, but man, it makes a difference. Yeah. And it might sound silly to people, but just don't knock it till you try it. Yeah. Like it might be just what you need.
Especially in our plugged in, wired lives where we're never far away from a screen. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the digital detoxing thing. I noticed it's a trend right now.
Digital detox.
It's a trend because I'm using Airbnb a lot, and a lot of these places, they're kind of off the map. They're close to national parks, and a big buzzword is digital detox. And just like being off the grid. So you don't have any cell service or anything. And that's how they promote themselves. And I go there and I'm meeting great people, very successful people, millionaires, politicians, celebrities are going to these places to leave the city and just cut themselves off and be out in nature. And I am all for this trend because everybody there is just like, man, did I need this? I needed it big time. Because I make my living online, and then when I took my couple weeks off completely, it was just, my brain felt refreshed. So I'm hoping this trend catches on, and I think it will because it works. It's not just a fad.
Well, it used to be an amenity, Wi-Fi, internet, like all like the selling points. Now a selling point is no Wi-Fi, no internet.
Exactly, yeah. Digital detox, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. What are the effects of, I guess maybe digital intoxication then? What do you think?
That was, so for me especially, because I was pretty active on Twitter for a while before I got suspended from Twitter, which actually ended up being a good thing. But Twitter especially, and social media like that, I found the dopamine just cut down on my ability to focus. And because I did pride myself on my long form content and my essays and my books and my emails. Yeah. And when you really, because you can get good at Twitter, or, if you put your ideas out in a certain way, it can be fun because you get the message out there. More and more people do it. It's good for your business. Yeah. It feels good getting the information out there. And it is fun, like making a stir. But all that, it does cut down on your long-term ability to focus. So taking those breaks and getting back into the deep work is like vital if you want to stay creative. Yeah.
I've recently discovered mushroom coffee and the nootropic effects of mushrooms.
Psychedelics?
No, just like lion's mane increases clarity and focus, reishi, chaga, and these literally they like if you're reading a book, your retention rate of what you read is higher than if you don't use these things. Well. And it gives you a clarity and a focus and an energy unlike caffeine, which physically amps you up, this does it to you mentally. The whole mushroom family, the whole fungi thing. Yeah, it's medicine, isn't it?
Oh, they are something special. Yeah, the fungi, it's something very, very special.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always been a fan, like with psychedelic mushrooms and microdosing. I think it's very good for, especially for certain personality types like mine. You can get a lot of benefit from that. But yeah, mushrooms in general, that whole family is just, they're amazing. If you do the research on them and you find out what they actually are they plants? Are they animals? Closer to animals than plants? What?
Yeah.
And if you've ever eaten a wild mushroom, like a golden chanterelle, have you ever had like a real wild mushroom?
Yes.
Oh,
Flavor.
It's better than a lobster. Like good. Yeah. So that mushrooms are something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Glad we're talking about mushrooms because they are close to my heart for sure.
I noticed that my friend that you met earlier today, she goes mushroom hunting, foraging.
It's a very European thing.
And loves it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely loves it. I said, how do you know what's a good one and which one will kill you? And they know.
Yeah.
They've been, since they were little kids, they can tell.
Yeah, that's
so it's interesting. I'm texting and I noticed, when I was looking at poisonous mushrooms, these red ones with white dots will kill you. I know that. And when I look at the emoji for mushrooms, like on the average cell phone, like my phone, the mushroom emoji is a red mushroom with white dots on it. And I wonder if those creators realize that will kill you.
I think they were copying the Super Mario mushroom.
Could be.
That's what everybody's familiar with. That's my inkling.
It's interesting. Yeah. The 21 convention has evolved. You've watched it evolve. Comment on that.
Yeah, it's evolved. It's fun. I feel like I'm evolving along with it too, which is great because it's always good to reach different levels of, creativity, maturity. Yes. But I've seen it grow from just, ragtag group of guys who are trying to pick up girls.
Yeah.
And to like a serious life-changing event where it's just gone full spectrum.
Yeah.
And like just reach different levels. So it's very nice and I think important. Very important. Evolution is very, very important, especially in a counterculture like this. Like it has to evolve, right? Yeah. You can't stay. I mean, if you figure out there's some really evil things in the world, feminism sucks, but what are we going to do about it, guys?
Right.
Yeah. Like figure out other solutions.
We're not going to spend 4 days talking about how something sucks.
Yeah. Or like how to pick up chicks.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Which can be done in an afternoon.
Yeah. So, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're so much more than a how to get laid workshop. Yeah. There's so much more going on here.
And that's, I think mainstream society, they look at men and they love to just keep men shallow and dumb, right? Yeah. Give the guy some bacon and beer and he's happy.
Bacon and
beer,
give
him a blowjob every once in a while, he's happy.
Yeah.
Whereas like the depth of the men here, the speakers here, just the depth that they have and the lengths they're willing to go to gain new knowledge is mind-blowing and amazing. Yeah. I haven't seen it anywhere else. And like I was working in the educational system, which didn't hold a flame to the 21 convention and the knowledge that's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very exciting. And like I said, important. It
is important.
Very important.
It is important. Your voice is important in the manosphere and in the men's community. How did you find your voice?
Oh man, my voice... when I first started writing in the beginning, I didn't have my voice. I was just kind of like putting the stuff out there. When I started getting feedback from my information, which was mostly about sex and seduction when I first started, but it was like I had my angle like, this is how you pick up girls, but the important thing is you want to form a connection. Like I don't want to say a spiritual connection, but if you're picking up a girl, like what is that connection? And that's what I was good at my writing. I was exploring the feelings behind it. And the emotions that were going on, like the real emotions. And when people started giving me feedback on that, I'm like, oh, okay, I've got a talent here. It's time to develop that and like take it more seriously. Once I did that and I was like, all right, I'm going to focus on the craft of writing now and really like trying to get to the core of the truth. I think that's what writing and storytelling is. You're trying to express truths. In that process, when I started taking it seriously, like something clicked in my mind, and that's when I knew I had my voice. It was like, then I would write, and I was like, I know this is going to work.
Does everybody have a voice?
No. That's like asking if everybody's a born writer. No, some people just can't write. It's just, they'll have their inner voice, but when it comes to their writing voice, I think it's a talent thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they should be musicians. I think during our last interview, I said I wish I could be a musician, but I was a born writer. Can't. My brother's got the musical talent, not me.
Right. Where do you see the men's movement going, if you can foresee the future?
I mean, I do see it getting bigger because we do have the truth behind us. So, I mean, self-improvement and the stuff we're doing is making people's lives change for the better because it's showing them the truth, right? Men see this. They literally change their lives around because they're exposed to the truth for the same time. They're exposed for the first time. So I do see it getting bigger and bigger because you can't stop the truth. I see more hit pieces on the manosphere coming, which I don't mind. I think they're a good thing. But I also see people who are going to wake up and see the positive side of it. And once that happens, once we get more and more positive press, which I think is inevitable, because there's going to be too many men's lives who have changed, too many voices speaking out there, that it's going to catch on more and more. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it'll ever become completely mainstream, but people are going to know about it.
Yeah.
And more and more people are going to be drawn.
Mm-hmm.
So right now it's in this little movement, little counterculture movement. And eventually the counterculture, if they have the truth behind them, they become part of the popular culture. So that's what I see happening. I have no idea what the timeline is going to be, but you can't stop the truth.
Yeah. You can't. Let me ask you this. AJ said something. He said, if you are the best in the world at something, why aren't you getting paid for it? And that just kind of made me stop for a second.
Yeah.
It seems like you have learned the art of getting paid for something you're good at. How did you get to that point where people gave you money for your talent?
I did not start doing this for I didn't even know you could make money writing online. How did I get to that point? It kind of happened naturally. Yes. I had other friends tell me I should start charging for services. And it was actually friends telling me, you need to start doing this. Like, you're just putting way too much stuff out there for free. Start doing this. But I wasn't confident yet in my skills. They hadn't been built yet. When I started doing the coaching, and guys were paying a lot of money to get my nightlife coaching and just, how to approach women and handle women in New York City, paying me a lot of money for that did give me a big confidence boost. And I was like, wow, I should start charging. This is ridiculous. I wasn't doing it before.
Yeah.
And it was a slow evolution, a very, very slow evolution for me. But I did not think I was going to make a dime doing this. This is why it's still bizarre to me. Very bizarre to look back and see how many people have been affected.
Yeah.
And willing to give me their hard-earned money for my information, my teaching, my writing. So it's strange to think about. Try not to think about it too much.
I think about with the flow. I'm thinking about the song New York, New York by Frank Sinatra, where he says, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. Is that true about New York?
Oh, yeah.
Different than Johnstown, Pennsylvania, right?
Oh, man. Yeah, you got to be bloodthirsty. You literally, like what AJ said, in New York, you have to be the best at what you do.
Yeah.
Because you will get a place like that.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to strive. So the thing I love about New York City is that people there are super ambitious. Mm-hmm. I like that in a person. When a person wants to be the best, not necessarily an elitist or pretentious, but they just want to be the best. I value that in a characteristic. And New York City has that going for it. Yeah.
What do you hate about New York?
Oh, man. About 10 years ago, the culture shifted when everybody and their mother wanted to move to New York. In like 2007, 2008, it was just everybody wanted to move there. And when it started happening, the money came in. And when the money moves in and it pushes the artists out and the creativity out, monoculture happens.
Wow.
And New York used to be prided on being rebellious and rude and saying, like, fuck you. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to vote for who I want to. Don't tell me what to do. And then in the past 10 years, it has literally become just a very leftist progressive. They've always been liberal, but
Yeah.
it's just gotten ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you can't have a different opinion, or else, like, I was literally banned from parties, kicked out, recognized, you're Goldmund, we know what you write about, get out, you're not allowed back in, you're banned from here forever.
Wow.
In the neighborhood I had lived in for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck you, Bushwick.
Yeah.
And so it's like that across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the worst thing right now, because it's worse there than in a lot of other places. Yeah.
Is there an alternative to New York, or what is the next stop for Goldmund?
I'm on the road right now. I'm looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what I find. But right now I'm enjoying the traveling and the exploring I can do. And I'm grateful to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll talk about that with us the next time we sit down and talk, right?
We will.
Excellent.
All right.
Goldmund Unleashed. Thank you.
Thanks again, George.
Yeah. What was your experience so far with the 21 convention?
Oh, outstanding. Outstanding.
Professional all across the board. Really good energy with a lot of people, and I just like it because it's a very positive direction.
This, George, this has been a first-class event.
It's fantastic. You guys run a really tight ship. I've been to a lot of conventions over the course of my business career, and I can tell when things are well run and when things aren't, and this is a very well-run operation. I was very impressed.
It's pretty incredible to see where Anthony's brought it, especially from last year, which was my first year here, and to see the upgrades he's made has been incredible.
I've got my notebook, and with every speaker, I've written down about 2 or 3 lines under each of the speakers of just the key prime stuff. That's good. That's good.
It's very surreal, man. I'm
Yeah.
really enjoying it. I'm happy to live in such an era where such a thing like this is possible.
I have never seen a group of guys like this, a group of 200 men who are focused, squared away, they're working on their values. Just never met a bigger group of wonderful guys.
It's kind of neat because I've been to a fair amount of conventions in my day, but you never see one where the guys like here you can just see Ed Lattimore talking to Tanner about boxing.
Yeah.
You just sit down and then you tell your boxing experiences. Everybody's kind of pinging off each other. It's
Yeah.
nice.
It has been fantastic, and it's been 4 days of guys all on the same page, working in the same direction.
Fascinating meeting some of the people, hearing their stories. You got people traveling from other parts of the world to come here just to see
Yeah.
some of the speakers. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
The thing that's impressed me is everybody here is very serious.
Yeah.
They're taking it, close to their heart.
What a great convention.
Thanks, George.